Number 1. Honda HR-V. Hey everyone, welcome back. Let's talk about the 2026 Honda HR-V, because this little SUV is shaping up to be one of the most interesting updates Honda's made in a while. The HR-V has always been that smart, practical choice for people who want SUV style without going big or expensive. And for 2026, Honda looks like it's giving it a fresh dose of personality, efficiency, and everyday capability. Before we dive in, quick favor. If you enjoy hearing about upcoming cars, honest takes, and what's actually worth your money, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. It helps the channel a ton and makes sure you don't miss future updates on new Hondas, hybrids, and compact SUVs like this one. Now visually, the 2026 HR-V keeps its clean, modern shape, but tightens things up. The front end looks sharper, the headlights are slimmer, and the overall stance feels a bit more confident. It still looks friendly and approachable, but there's more attitude this time around. Compared to older HR-V models, especially the early ones, this version feels more grown up and more in line with Honda's newer design language. One of the biggest changes people are excited about is the hybrid option. Honda has been doing hybrids really well lately, and bringing that technology into the HR-V makes a lot of sense. The hybrid setup is expected to be smooth, quiet, and super easy to live with. Great for city driving, traffic, and long commutes. You're not buying this for speed, but the instant response from the electric side should make it feel quicker and more relaxed than past gas-only HR-Vs, all while saving fuel. Even though the HR-V isn't a hardcore off-roader, Honda has clearly thought about real-world versatility. With available all-wheel drive, improved traction systems, and slightly better ground clearance, the 2026 HR-V should feel more confident on gravel roads, snow, and rough pavement. It's still a compact crossover, but compared to older models, it feels more capable for weekend trips and light adventures. Inside, the updates are immediately noticeable. The cabin feels cleaner and more open, with better materials and a simpler layout. The infotainment screen is larger and easier to use. The digital displays are clearer, and everything just feels more thoughtfully designed. Honda has also improved seat comfort and cargo flexibility, which makes a big difference if this is your daily driver. Compared to previous HR-V interiors, this one feels more modern and more comfortable without being complicated. When it comes to pricing, the 2026 HR-V is expected to stay right in that sweet spot. Affordable, but not cheap. The hybrid models will likely cost a bit more, but the fuel savings and added refinement should make them worth it over time. Number 2. Cadillac V16. If you hadn't heard the rumors about the 2026 Cadillac V16, you might want to sit down for this, because Cadillac might be cooking up something truly wild. I mean, Cadillac has always been about bold luxury and big engines, but the idea of a V16 in the modern era? That's the kind of announcement that gets gearheads talking. Right off the bat, the design cues we're seeing on this next-generation Cadillac give off this perfect blend of classic presence and future muscle. It's bold without being obnoxious. The front end sits lower and wider, the LED lighting signature is sharper, and there's this sculpted, flared fender look that just whispers confidence. It still feels like a Cadillac, big, distinctive, and unapologetically luxurious. But there's a new energy to it, like Cadillac is ready to stand toe-to-toe with the freshest high-end rivals out there. Now, even though we're talking about a V16, don't go picturing an old gas guzzler from the 30s. This 2026 Cadillac V16 is expected to lean into hybrid performance, marrying that legendary cylinder count with modern efficiency. The idea isn't just brute force, it's controlled force. Imagine the kind of smooth, effortless acceleration you get from electric power, backed by the soulful rumble of a massive internal combustion setup. It's the kind of powertrain that doesn't just want your attention, it commands it. And while a V16 might not scream off-road, Cadillac's engineers seem to be giving this thing more capability than you'd think. With adjustable air suspension, adaptive drive modes, and advanced traction management, it's built to handle a range of roads comfortably. Not rock-crawling terrain, sure, but cruising through mountain passes or tackling wet, twisty back roads. Totally in its wheelhouse. Compared to past Cadillac flagships that were more boulevard cruiser than dynamic performer, this feels like a new chapter. Step inside and you're instantly reminded why Cadillac is up there with the best when it comes to luxury. The cockpit feels modern and open, with sweeping lines, premium materials everywhere you look, and that kind of attention to detail that makes you want to touch everything. Dual panoramic displays, customizable ambient lighting, ventilated massage seats, you name it. Tech and comfort have clearly had a glow-up compared to older models, and Cadillac is finally blending that tech with real human comfort rather than just stacking screens for the sake of it. Now let's talk price, because something this ambitious isn't going to be cheap. Early whispers suggest it's going to sit at the higher end of the Cadillac lineup, which makes sense when you think about the V16 name, the hybrid engineering, and the luxury touches inside. Number 3. BMW M3. The 2026 BMW M3 is shaping up to be one of the most talked about performance sedans in years, and honestly, it's easy to see why. BMW has taken this iconic nameplate and given it a fresh shot of adrenaline, blending that classic M-car prowess with some really exciting upgrades for the modern era. Compared to past M3 generations, which already set the bar high for performance, handling, and driver engagement, the 2026 model feels like a thoughtful evolution rather than just another refresh. The design is sharper and more confident. From the front end, the new headlights and grille give it a serious stare, like it's ready to pounce, while the flared fenders and sculpted side profile look purposeful without being over the top. It's athletic, aggressive in all the right places, and still unmistakably an M3. Whether you're walking up to it in a parking lot or passing by on the street, it just looks fast. Under the hood, BMW is stepping into hybrid territory with the 2026 cubic meters, and honestly, it makes perfect sense. This isn't about making it some weird crossover. It's about adding power and responsiveness while keeping the soul of the car intact. The hybrid assist system brings instant throttle response and helps with fuel efficiency too, so you get that thrilling punch when you need it, without feeling like you're living at the fuel pumps. It's that sweet spot where modern performance meets everyday usability. And compared to older M3s that were all gas all the time, this one feels smarter and more adaptable. Now, I know what you're thinking. Off-road? This is a BMW M3. But hear me out. While it's not some lifted SUV, BMW has added features like adaptive suspension and traction enhancements that make it way more confidence-inspiring on rough surfaces or twisty back roads. It doesn't need massive ground clearance or knobby tires. It just needs to stay planted and composed, and from what we're hearing, it does that beautifully. Compared to earlier generations that could feel a bit too razor-sharp on imperfect roads, the 2026 cubic meters feels more refined and more forgiving without losing that driver's car edge. Slide inside, and the improvements continue. The interior feels like a driver's cockpit first and foremost, but with all the modern touches we've come to expect. Larger displays, updated infotainment, and premium materials everywhere make it comfortable for daily driving, road trips, or even long-track days. The seats feel supportive in all the right ways, and the layout is intuitive, so you're not fumbling for controls while you're trying to focus on the road. Compared to older interiors that could feel a little dated or button-heavy, this new cabin is sleek and modern without losing that BMW character. Pricing for the 2026 BMW M3 is expected to land a bit higher than outgoing models, especially with the hybrid tech on board. But when you look at what you're getting, power, tech, comfort, and that unmistakable M-car feel, it starts to make a lot of sense. It's a performance machine that works on a daily basis, and that balance is something BMW has always chased. All in all, the 2026 cubic meters feels like a thoughtful, exciting step forward. It honors the legacy of one of the world's most beloved performance sedans. But it doesn't just rest on its history. It embraces the future in a way that feels organic, exciting, and honestly, a bit thrilling. Number 4. Subaru Outback. The 2026 Subaru Outback is shaping up to be one of the most exciting updates we've seen in years. And honestly, it feels like Subaru listened to every fan out there when putting this thing together. From the moment you see it, the new Outback just looks more confident. The design is bigger, boxier, and somehow more purposeful without losing that classic Subaru charm. The front end feels more rugged, the stance sits a little wider, and overall it just gives off this sense of adventure the second you glance at it. It's still unmistakably an Outback, but this time around, It feels like it's ready for whatever you throw at it, from city streets to dirt roads and everything in between. And if you're as hyped as I am, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we're going to be breaking down more details on this beast all year long. Now let's talk power, because Subaru's not playing around with this one. The 2026 Outback is expected to lean hard into hybrid technology, which, honestly, is a brilliant move. You're getting that smooth, instant torque that comes with the electric assist, plus the dependable power Subaru's known for. It means better fuel economy for long road trips, easier cruising around town, and enough kick when you need to merge or pass. Compared to past Outbacks, this one feels like a smarter, more efficient machine without sacrificing that go-anywhere capability we all love. And when it comes to capability, Subaru's reputation for ruggedness is still very much alive here. The Outback has always been great off the beaten path, and the 2026 model sticks with that legacy while making it even better. Improved traction systems and a refined all-wheel drive setup give you confidence whether you're climbing muddy trails or navigating snowy back roads. This isn't about rock crawling. It's about dependable, real-world off-road confidence that makes weekend adventures way more fun. Slide inside, and it's clear Subaru paid attention to what people actually want in a modern SUV interior. The cabin feels more open and refined, with high-quality materials that make even daily commutes feel special. The tech setup is easier to use, the screens are more intuitive, and there's a real sense of space, perfect for family trips or piling in gear for a weekend getaway. And compared to older Outbacks, this interior feels like a genuine upgrade in comfort, usability, and overall vibe. Now let's talk about pricing, because this is where things get interesting. While the hybrid tech and added features do push the price up a bit compared to older models, what you're getting in return feels worth it. Better efficiency, smarter tech, improved comfort. It all adds up to a package that feels modern without feeling overpriced. Subaru has always struck a nice balance between value and capability, and the 2026 Outback seems determined to keep that tradition alive. Looking back at past Outbacks, this one feels like an evolution rather than a revolution. It keeps the DNA that made us all fans in the first place: reliability, ruggedness, practicality. Number 5. Honda Accord. I'm so excited to talk about the 2026 Honda Accord, because this isn't just another model year. This feels like a real evolution for a car that's been a favorite for decades. If you've ever owned an Accord or just appreciate a sedan that's reliable, fun to drive, and smartly engineered, you're going to want to stick around for this one. And hey, if you're loving automotive news, future releases, and honest takes on what's coming next, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss anything coming from the channel. The moment you see the new 2026 Accord, you'll notice Honda has given it a bit more presence. The design feels more confident, a slightly lower stance, cleaner lines, and a front end that's sleek without being boring. It's modern, it's athletic, and it still carries that classic Accord silhouette we all recognize, but with a bit more attitude. Compared to past models, it looks like Honda took everything that worked and dialed up the style in a way that feels fresh and current. Now, let's talk power, because this is one of the biggest changes fans are buzzing about. The 2026 Accord is leaning into hybrid technology, and honestly, it's one of the best parts of this redesign. The hybrid setup isn't about being slow or complicated. It's about smooth, responsive acceleration, great efficiency, and surprisingly enjoyable everyday driving. Whether you're cruising through city traffic or heading out on the highway, there's a confident, effortless feel to the way this car moves. It's a noticeable step forward from the older gasoline-only engines, and it really modernizes the whole driving experience. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Off-road? It's a sedan. But hear me out. While the Accord isn't built to climb rocky trails or ford rivers, Honda has definitely improved traction and stability in slippery conditions. So if you're driving in rain, light snow, or just uneven pavement, the Accord feels more sure-footed than older models. You're getting more all-weather confidence even if you're not hitting actual trails. Step inside, and it's clear Honda didn't skimp on comfort or tech. The interior feels more refined and spacious, with materials that look and feel nicer than before. The infotainment screen is bigger and easier to use. The layout feels intentional, and there's a quality to the cabin that makes daily driving feel more enjoyable, not just functional. Long road trips or daily commutes? This Accord handles them both without wearing you out. Compared to older interiors that sometimes felt dated or cluttered, this one feels more modern and relaxing. And then there's the price. This is where Honda usually shines, and the 2026 Accord continues that trend. While the hybrid tech and upgraded features mean a slightly higher starting price than some older models, the value is hard to beat. You're getting new technology, better fuel efficiency, and a more comfortable experience without venturing into luxury car pricing. For most buyers, that balance just makes sense.